Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to export a video from the master sequencer. So what I've got here is a simple scene that I've created, and I've also created a simple cinematic. If you don't know how to do that, I've got a tutorial on how to set up a simple camera track which explains that. So I'll open up my camera track. As you can see here, moves along. Excellent. So we'll enlarge this. Now, what you want to do before you start the export is you want to have a camera track set up, and you also want to make sure that this is selected, otherwise it won't render out. So click the clapperboard, and what you've got here is your export settings. So video sequence, I believe, goes out into AVI. Your frame rate, that shows you for film, British television, or possibly European television as well, American, all sorts of American. So you just choose the one you want. Obviously your resolution can go up to 4K, possibly higher than that. I'm not sure whether you can do 8K, etc. Your compression, so obviously you want that 100%. Your destination, export destination, so I know what that is. So generally what I do is I don't export a video, I'll export to PNG, and the reason is from what I understand, basic common practice is that you render out two images, because if your computer crashes, say, halfway through your render and it's rendered down to an AVI, basically you have to start all over again. But if it's rendered down to images and say it crashes at getting to 2700, you just basically restart the render again at 2700 onwards, and you don't have to render all the frames before. The thing is, you don't really get that issue with Unreal, because it's so quick. Well, definitely not on images, I'm not sure on video, but it's so quick that you know, it's not like using, say, RenderMan or something like that, where you could potentially be waiting hours for one still. So what I'll do is I'll show you here an example how it works. So drop down. I generally always use images, I'll just use PNG for this, and then we'll do, obviously I've set my output directory. Yeah, my qualities as I want it, cinematic, yeah. So then capture movie. This will ask you to save selected. Now, if I go to my render folder, you can see here, off it goes. So you can see it's incredibly quick for what it is. I won't go through the whole thing. That's how it works. Sorry, there we go. Yep, that's how it works. What it does, obviously, with that is that will render down into images for me. I then load it into something like Premiere and import them as an image sequence, and off I go. Obviously, if you're using an AVI, you don't need all that. You might need to compress it down because it might be really big, depending on what you do. But yeah, that's a very simple way of how to export movies out of or videos out of Unreal. If you found it helpful, please give a like, maybe subscribe, and that would be great. Cheers, thanks.